Hey guys, this is Jared, and I just want to take a moment to share some things that have transpired over this past 7 days. Had you asked me a week ago what my world was going to look like in this past 7 days, I definitely wouldn't have thought it was going to look like this. It was this time last week, last Wednesday, right around 5 o'clock, is when I received a call from my sister, just sharing with me that my dad had been rushed to the hospital and he was in the ambulance, and they didn't have any more news than that. And it was a stark reality, a wake-up call, because I knew that call was going to come at some point. He was 89. It's one of those calls that you just never hope comes. My dad was larger than life. We'd actually joke around that my dad was like a cat with many lives, because we almost lost when I was young, and he had a stroke and he had heart issues, but he just kept living. And I think part of his resilience was just his zeal and zest for life and his love for my stepmom, Judy. And he just loved people, and he just soaked up life. And that was just a great reminder for me, because any picture you look at, the pictures I posted on social media, was just, he had this radiant smile. He always lit up a room. He always made people feel better about themselves. You always felt seen when you were around my dad. And since last week, it's been a major void in my life. I know he's in a better place, and I'm happy for that. So I've gone through the journey of grief to gratitude over this past 7 days. But I got to tell you, it's left a vast hole in my soul this week, and just really digging deep to, just look at what's next in my life. And just how do I honor the legacy of such a great man? And that's something that I'm really taking to heart. He was a man of courage. He was a former Marine. He was a man of valor. He was a man of compassion, a man of love, a man of grace and mercy and forgiveness, a man of great integrity. I could go on and say incredible things, and he was all those things. And he really set the bar for myself and my siblings. And I am just honored to have had him as my father, my dad in this life. I miss him greatly. I know that there's big shoes to fill, and I just hope that I can be half the man he is at the end of my life. And so I just thank all of you for reaching out. Those of you that emailed and texted and sent social media postings and things, just sharing your condolences and your thoughts and prayers with us. I got to tell you, that has meant the world to me and my family, especially during this difficult time, because it was a big loss. And then today, just when you think you're starting to breathe, this morning we get up and our daughter is not feeling well. And she got sick yesterday and her stomach was hurting. And, she's not one to ever complain. It's just not who she is. And she doesn't ever want to go to the doctor. But today we said, do you want to go to the doctor? And she said, yes. So we knew there was something major going on. And so we ended up taking her into urgent care. And while at urgent care, they looked at her and said, you need to get her to the children's hospital right away, because there was concern. And as a parent, that is one of the scariest things in your life, when you hear someone say, get her to the emergency room, because it's the unknowns, it's the uncertainties, it's the things I cannot control. Scares the heck out of you. But I couldn't let that on with my daughter. So I just sucked it up and courageously took her to the hospital. And even when I got there, only one of us could go in. So I had to wait for about 4 hours while she got every test, and they were looking her over. And I got to say, I can't say enough about the Advent Children's Hospital here in Orlando. They were phenomenal. And they, after running many tests, couldn't find anything major with my daughter. So they sent her home, feeling confident in that. And I feel confident because they feel confident. But realizing tonight, I'm exhausted. It's been a long week. But what I realize is that what I've gone through with my dad and with my daughter is eye-opening and a reminder of the frailty of life, and that we are on a razor's edge and there's no guarantees. So just like I would call my dad, and I made sure every time I finished my conversation by saying, "Dad, I love you so much." And he'd always say, "Son, I love you so much." And there was nothing ever left unsaid because I knew that it could be our last call. And so I just encourage you, whether it's parents or a parent or grandparents or just people in your life, take the time to make the phone call. Take the time to say, "I love you." Take the time to say, "I'm sorry." Take the time to forgive. Because this week has reminded me the frailty of life, that things can turn quickly. And fortunately for today, we got good news in the end with my daughter, and she's home and she's sleeping now. But you know what? Again, there's no guarantees. So I just encourage you, be good to yourself, be good to those in your life, love on them, live full, live for now. And I'm just grateful that you guys really blessed us and reached out to us at a time of need. So thank you, and I wish you the best. Thanks, guys.